Once upon a time, we measured the distance in darkness. What is spoken will eventually come to light. Water captures your reflection. I capture human interactions. Create human-like conversational dialogue to help you write a blog, to cut down hours of prep that you log. I'm an engineer in marble. Who better to break down the Constitution? Who better to show and explain the revolution? Who better to uncover the truth? Montanna, Uncle Rico, Gerry, Rod. We are a reflection of our country's scars. The Doneson Podcast. Show them who we are.
You know I love you so. We're back, we're here. Let the music take control. The season's here. In case you didn't know, we're glad you're here. I hope you like the show. For many years. Let's start the show.
So I was at a club, and I guess, this podcast is jumping off.
Of course.
And people are starting to recognize us. I don't know about you, but they recognize me in this club. Okay. You know what I mean? And I'm dancing and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear this. Kick it!
We're back, we're here.
In the club?
In the club.
Okay.
I'm like, y'all know I love this club, right, baby? Here we go.
Here.
And she started pushing up on me. She started lip syncing and saying this to me, whispering.
We're glad you're here.
DJ, cut it.
You told the DJ to cut it in the club?
And I said, now, baby, I might not need to buy you a drink after this.
You might need to buy
because I am part of the Doneson Podcast.
Ah, okay.
Kick it!
We're back, we're here. Let the music take control. The season's here.
Cut it! So she said, baby, you got all these people in the control in the palm of your hand. I was like, baby, I do. Kick it!
In case you didn't know, we're glad you're here.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you like the show.
Yeah, and they played it all night, and I was like, what a
For
revelation.
many years.
How much did you pay him?
Well, I got my Bill Clinton voice.
Okay.
Me and Monica.
You waiting on the invoice to come in?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the
You
invoice to
waiting
come
on
in. Hopefully it's a tax write-off.
Right. You gotta call Keisha.
Yeah. I got a better
I'm
call.
gonna call her this year for sure. 'Cause I ain't trying to pay out no more money this year.
Now, I don't know where you guys get your news from, right? But I get my news
Instagram.
from Rabbit News.
Oh, God.
Let us begin. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Rabbit News. And tonight, something that took a turn for the worse, or the worse for the turn, as they say. Hair weave has been going up tremendously, just like the cost of housing prices. Now there's been a lot of unrecognizable people. Just the other day, even though I'm on the news, I didn't recognize Mary Jane because she didn't have her weave in. But that's okay. I like the edge up that she had. In other news, there has been a shortage of chicken nuggets, but there isn't a shortage of chicken. The question is, and we've done our research and investigation, is where do chicken nuggets come? Do they come from the tummy? Do they come from the breast? Do they come from the neck? Or do they come from the back? But soon we will find out. Our investigative reporting, just stay tuned for the chicken nuggets and where they come from. Another thing that's breaking that hits close to home, Dayton, Ohio has just been approved to receive a Batman. Hopefully crime has been up by 46%. Hopefully with this new Batman, it would break it down to 12%. And this, my friends, I might have a possibility of moving back. But thank you for tuning in to Rabbit News. Good night. All right, now it's time for What's Cooking in Your City?
Ooh, Viet Cajun crawfish boil. If you don't cook this right, it's going to feel like Vietnam hot. Let's begin with the main ingredients. Crawfish boil. 2 half gallons water. 1/2 cup of Old Bay seasoning or saturated crawfish, shrimp and crab boil. 1/2 cup of fish sauce. This could get stanking. 2 lemongrass stalks, smashed. 2 lemons, halved. 2 heads garlic, halved horizontally. If you cut cocaine, then you know what halves means. 3/4 cups of kosher salt, divided. 2 pounds of small red potatoes. 6 pounds of light crawfish, cleaned. 3 ears fresh corn, halved. Some of you, the minute you hear ears, you're thinking pig. 2 tablespoons of very finely chopped lemongrass. 1/2 cup of chopped garlic, from 16 cloves or 1 large head. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Directions. Now, put your eyeglasses on for this one. Boil until crawfish are bright red, about 8 minutes. Drain crawfish mixture. Discard garlic, lemons, and lemongrass. Place crawfish, corn, and potatoes in a huge bowl. Toast with half of the butter sauce and cilantro. Serve with the remaining sauce. See you next week, where we'll be talking about another amazing dish. Voila!
Chef Voila, thank you. Now it's time for my monologue.
Oh, God.
Now, the Electoral College is different. And at first, I didn't understand it, right? But we have an insight into this country's policies, and we should know what Electoral College means.
Yeah.
But if you don't, this episode will let you know.
Okay.
But before we get there, it's time for Rapid Fire! What are states that are not reliably won by either Democrat or Democratic parties?
Those are swing
That's
states.
right, Montana. That is correct.
Yeah.
What is it called when the current president of the country who is seeking re-election?
Incumbent.
That is right, Montana. What president won more electoral votes than Woodrow Wilson but lost the popular vote?
1912, Theodore Roosevelt.
That is right, Uncle Rico. Which original document counted each slave as 3/5 of a person?
The one we're under now, the U.S. State Constitution.
That is correct, Uncle
still
Rico.
How was that still active?
But see, that's what I talked about earlier. this country, man,
Yeah.
love it. Wouldn't want to live nowhere else. Don't get it wrong. But we do things not necessarily because it's right, but because it's political right at the time.
Yeah. And don't change.
So why would you put that in the Constitution if you truly wanted to free the slaves?
Because you really didn't?
Because you really didn't.
That's all?
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I'm talking. These are the things that I look at.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
These are the things.
Why would that be in the Constitution
Reason.
from the beginning? If you really wanted to free the slaves, why you going to declare them 3/5 of a human being? Huh? Okay, then. I'm through. I'm keep talking to y'all about this
Well
stuff.
said,
man.
Uncle
You better
Rico.
do some educating.
Well said, Uncle Rico.
Education.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Now, the Electoral College is a body of electors established by the United States Constitution, constituted every 4 years for the sole purpose of electing the president and vice president of the United States. Now, the electors are chosen by each state in a manner directed by the legislative. Therefore, each state number of electors is equal to the number of seats it has in the U.S. House of Representatives plus its 2 senators. The Electoral College was created in 1787 constitutionally conventions as part of a compromise between those who wanted popular elections for the president and those who wanted the president to be chosen by Congress. The Electoral College system gives more power to smaller states, as each state has the same number of electors as it has the representatives in Congress, regardless of its population. Gerry.
You can't leave the small states out. I'm for giving power to the smaller states. Now that they fought, nobody wants to move there.
All right, Gerry, that's my cousin right there. Now, to win the presidency, a candidate must receive a majority of the electoral votes. If no candidate receives a majority, the House of Representatives chooses the president from among the top 3 candidates, with each state delegation casting 1 vote. Now, the Electoral College has been criticized for being undemocratic, as it is possible for a candidate to win the popular vote but lose the election. We've seen this happen before, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This happened in 2000.
Al Gore.
Right. When Al Gore won the popular vote but lost the election to George W. Bush.
I bet Al Gore was pissed, man.
You are correct, Gerry. Now, in the history of Electoral College, let's go a little bit back, right? Here's some of the key events in the history of Electoral College. 1787, the Electoral College is created as a constitutional convention. 1800, Thomas Jefferson wins the presidency despite losing the popular vote to Aaron Burr. This leads to the 12th Amendment, which changes the way the Electoral College votes for presidents and vice president. In 1824, check this out, Andrew Jackson wins the popular vote but loses the election to John Quincy Adams. Mm-hmm. Now, this leads to the rise of the winner-take-all system, in which the candidate who wins the most votes in a state receives all the state's electoral votes. Remember that, right? Mm-hmm. In 1912, Theodore Roosevelt wins more electoral votes than Woodrow Wilson but loses the popular vote. This is the last time that a candidate has won the presidency without winning the popular vote. 2000, George W. Bush wins the presidency despite losing the popular vote to Al Gore. This is the most recent time that a candidate has won the presidency without winning the popular vote. The Electoral College has been a controversial institution since its inception. Some people believe that it is an undemocratic system that gives too much power to small states. Others believe it is a necessary part of American system of government and protects the interests of all states, large or small. Now, Montanna,
I'm listening.
would you agree that it's better to elect the president on a popular vote or electoral vote? And either way, why?
It's crazy to me that both even exist. I would say popular vote because you want to go with the people. Mm-hmm. Like, we are the ones. I understand you have the Electoral College, but everybody in there has their own agenda. Right. Everybody's there for a reason. They got their own things they need. But if you go off the popular vote, that is the people saying this is who we want to run our country. Right. So that's what I would go with. I just don't get why both even still exist. Like, do away with the popular vote if it really don't mean nothing.
And you may ask yourself, who benefits from the Electoral College, right? Yeah. The Electoral College system benefits a number of different groups, including swing states. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Swing states are states that are not reliably won by the Democratic or Republican Party. These states are often the focus of presidential campaigns, as candidates know that they need to win these states in order to win the election.
I knew swing clubs existed, but I didn't know they had swing states. I thought swing states were, where they go to,
Thanks, Gerry. Now, in comments, I've heard this before. I really didn't know what that meant. Now, comment presidents often benefit from the Electoral College system, as they have the advantages of name recognition. An incumbent president is the current president of the country who is seeking re-election. This can make it difficult for challengers to win the election, even if they win the popular vote. Political parties. The Electoral College system gives political parties a great deal of power as they control the nomination process and the distribution of campaign funds. This can make it difficult for independent candidates to win the election. The Electoral College system has been criticized for being undemocratic, as it is possible for a candidate to win the popular vote but lose the election, right? Now, the Electoral College and slavery, I always thought about this, right? The Electoral College has been criticized for its role in institution of slavery. The 3/5 Compromise, we've heard of this, right? Mm-hmm. Which is part of the original Constitution, counted each slave as 3/5 of a person for the purpose of determining representation in the Congress and Electoral College. This meant that slave states had more power in the Electoral College than they would have in slaves that had not been counted at all. Gerry, what you think?
3/5? You mean they were counting the whole human being, aka black people, that way? 3/5? Come on, man.
All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Montana, do you think that the Electoral College gives too much power to small states, so to speak, with small population? Do you think it should be offset, or you think you like the system the way it is?
The way you described it, as far as like small states having kind of the same power as larger states, that does seem like they have a lot of power to kind of swing things. And I don't know if that's necessarily fair, because if you have a state as large as California and you have a state like Rhode Island, Rhode Island is a smaller state with a smaller population and less people. I don't think it should have the same power as a larger state. So I think, there are some adjustments that need to be made. It's kind of like when Unc said earlier about the Constitution originally having something in there about 3/4 of a person. And and we're still running off of this old ass document. Like, at work, we got to update files every year. Why they don't update the damn Constitution? We need to run that back and like revisit some things on it. Like, hey, maybe this worked in like 1814.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like literally 2023. We may need to revise this thing,
Good point. Good point, Montana. What do you think about the fact that a candidate can win the popular vote but lose the election?
Because it's set up for the lobbyists, man, for the folks that's feeding the people that we elect to put in Washington to fill their pockets. This thing is set up just so that those who are in charge can remain in charge, and they can dictate and control the masses of the people. Like I always say, we are pawns on the world chessboard. And don't just think about America, think about the globe. Because at the end of the day, around this world, in these countries, the ones who are in charge, they all grouped up, man.
Right.
They pulling the strings. Don't be twisted or fooled or manipulated to think they ain't. Because they got to come and go. And it ain't going against, and it's going contrary to the masses of the people. Because they don't give a crap about us. And I don't care if you're white, black, brown, African-American, white, Jew. It don't matter. They don't care. The ones who calling all the shots are hooked up. They running the show.
Yeah.
And they playing a game with us, man. And people got to realize, man, it's a game being played.
Definitely.
And we got to get away from it. And the only way we're going to get away from it is that the masses of the people elect who we want to govern us, who we want to run our countries. And that's why there's so much fighting all around the world. Everybody fighting. It ain't just in the U.S. Every country on the face of the earth is fighting about who's running their country.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because it ain't in their interest.
Great point.
It ain't in their interest, man.
Well, let me ask y'all a personal question. Each one of y'all, but y'all can take your time on this. Tax bracket.
Yeah.
Each one of y'all. Would y'all say y'all in a lower tax bracket or a higher tax bracket?
I'm in a high tax bracket.
If a man listening,
I don't get no stimulus. They don't send me no damn stimulus.
If a man is listening, you're in a lower?
I have no money.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this, right? I know everybody on this panel makes money, right?
Allegedly.
But this is the difference. If you make over $200,000, which I think each of one of y'all do, right?
No, I don't make that much, but I don't get no stimulus. You don't send me no stimulus, but I don't make no $200,000.
Okay. Is it safe to say everybody on this panel makes over $100,000? That's safe to say, right? Okay.
Ask your question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in order to maintain power, laws have to be beneficial to you, right?
Yeah.
Everybody follow me on that?
So far.
Okay. So I know this talk is good and dandy, right? But if we had laws to put more money in your pocket, would y'all take and improve those laws, Montana?
It depends on what those laws are.
Depending on how it's
To
gonna
put
affect
more
the man.
money?
No.
It's only
You
one
would say
law
put more money in
to
my
put
pocket.
more money in
but
your
there
pocket.
has to be like, what is that law that's going to put the money? I got
Because
to know the
it's gonna
details.
cost somebody else something.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Yes.
cost to it, but I got to know what it is.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say no just because it might be a cost to somebody else because somebody else to do it to me.
All right. Let me put this in another light. Montana, you throw one of the greatest parties, right?
Okay, I do.
Okay.
Just so y'all know.
So in your household, when you throw that party, there's people in different tax brackets. Would you agree?
Yes, of course.
And you so happen to be of the higher tax bracket. Would
Okay.
you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So benefits that might benefit you when you throw a party might not benefit those who are less fortunate.
Such as?
What's the point?
Like what?
People that make less than $30,000.
Okay, so if they make, but I'm trying to follow you though. If they make less, like what you saying, like it benefits them more, it benefits me.
It benefits you.
Hell, if I'm throwing a party, I done spent the money. Yeah, they just show up.
Well, this is the thing. You get to choose where you can live at anywhere in.
Okay, I could see that perspective.
Right,
I get
they
to choose.
can.
Okay. Okay. So where we going with that? I follow now.
Okay.
I kind of have more control over, like, I guess my life in the sense of
Yeah.
I have more control over certain decisions because money does rule things.
Yes.
Money gives you access.
Yes.
We know that. So yeah, if somebody makes less than 30,000 and somebody makes 6 figures, life is going to look different.
Right.
That's a given.
Right.
That's understood. But if it's certain laws that you're talking about to implement to change things, I just got to know what those laws are because even though somebody may make less than 30,000, say I make more than 30,000, I still am not a person that's just going to automatically say I want the law to benefit me. I want to know like what is the entire law to know how it's going to try to benefit everybody, but understanding that not all laws are going to benefit everybody. Like you got Obamacare right now. Obamacare don't do shit for me.
All right.
But it's gonna benefit somebody that makes a lower amount. Mind you, the government might say, well, because you make X amount, you gotta pay $20 more out your taxes for Obamacare. All right, I'm not gonna say no because I know the people that it does benefit.
Right.
So it's just like certain things I might give pushback on, but certain stuff you just gonna be like, all right, I understand. Like they say, the price of fame or the price of having this money. I'm gonna have to give a little bit more than the other person does. But I'm okay with that because I'm still have more.
Right.
So, but I still gotta know the rules and regulations before I just be like, all right.
Yeah.
Mm.
We ain't gonna be no yes man.
Yeah, nah.
Okay. All right. Oh, you feel?
Yeah, like I said, and then here's another thing, man. It ain't so much of how much money you make, it's what you do with what you make. Take this for instance. I know people, I ain't gonna call no name. They get their paychecks and they go out and buy Jordans and Gucci's and all this kind of stuff. And then next week, can I borrow 20?
Ooh, say buy what you want, beg for what you need.
Come on, man.
Get out of my
It
face.
ain't about how much you make, it's what you do with what you make. You can't, if you at a certain level of income, then you got to make sure you guarding your money and putting your money in places that's going to benefit you.
Right.
Not just spending it. And like I tell people all the time, and I preach it to people all the time, look, if you ain't putting some of your money to make you some more money, you already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Monk.
You can't keep making paycheck after paycheck, spending it all and waiting on the next paycheck. Some of that income has got to be put somewhere where it's making you some more money. And I hear, and we black folks, we got this the worst. Can't take it with you when you die. Okay, I ain't dead yet.
Right.
But I'm going to make sure.
And I don't know when I'm going to die.
And I don't know when I'm going to die. But I'm going to make sure that when I retire, that I got something put aside to carry me through.
Right.
And if I don't make it to retirement, then okay, no problem. Then my kids and my spouse will get it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I'm with you,
Right.
you're right.
Man, look, we under this myth, and I'm telling you, black folks, man, kill me when I hear somebody say that. Can't take it with you when you die.
I love that.
Man, miss me with all that. Because at the end of the day, if I do make it to retirement, I ain't gonna have to go back to work. I bet you that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I'm a
And on that note,
stupid mess, yeah.
thank you for tuning in to the Doneson Podcast.
You know I love you so.
You tapped your ass, Kevin. It went away.
We're back, we're here. Let the music take control.